rivers are given a very prime place in the lives of human beings. We all know that since civilization, the history of civilizations are associated with the rivers. Whether we can name Euphrates and Tigris for the Mesopotamian, Indus and its tributaries or Indus River Basin for the Indus Valley civilization, and Nile for the Egyptian civilization, or many like Yellow River for the Chinese civilization. So these civilizational journeys of human beings, as well as even the present era, where our need and importance for rivers has never come down. This is the river where which is a source of not just a drinking water, not just agricultural fields watering or just industrial, but it's more than that. In India, we know that how a rivers are given a reverence, a place of reverence for various cultural regions. We all know that in Hindu mythological system or Hindi religion, in which the rivers are given a mother or goddess place, whether that is Ganga or Ma Ganga river, Yamuna, Godavari, Kaveri, and etc. etc. So in this session, what we are today going to have a very deep navigating or deep discussion is about one of the major river which flows across the nations, not just India but China as well as Bangladesh. So this very river which we are going to talk about today is Brahmaputra. And this Brahmaputra river, which is also known as Yarlung Tangpo in the part of Tibet or southern China, is in the news, and it's gained a spotlight because of the one of the mega dam project that is proposed by the Chinese government across the river. So what are the complications, what going to be the implication because of that mega project, and what will be the challenges or what will be the issues that going to happen with the riparian states? This is what needs for the exam point of view, particularly for the CAC exam. And in this session, our focus is to deal with all the complications, all the aspects of in that particular mega or super dam project across the Yalang Sangpo River. So, as these are the parts of our preparation, and why need to focus on this particular topic because of the utility in the CSC interview which is now going to happen in Dolpur House. Apart from that, the mains in the mains examination paper GS paper 1 where we need to study geography, as well as the GS paper 2, because of the reverse transboundary nature, it's also impact upon the international relations, particularly these three riparian nations, China, India, and Bangladesh. So again, it will be important for this particular that GS paper 2, as well as the optional, particularly in the geography and international relations. Uh, Other than that, the other PCS exams where geography and international relations are now also incorporated. So it will be also useful in those exams. Now, as we are proceeding uh, uh, and need to understand the implications, before that we need to also understand the actual nature or natural setting of geographical setting of this river Brahmaputra. If we this is something which you all may know, and but still we for the sake of basic understanding, we'll also have a few brief points about the river Brahmaputra. Like it is transboundary nature, and the second is antecedent. So it is important term antecedent. Mean this term antecedent is something a river That is because of its already existing in nature. That means the this if you follow the this particular drainage or this particular flowing of this Brahmaputra river before the Himalayan upliftment, which is we all know that it started about 51 to 52 million years ago. And even that means antecedent means this river existed even before the Himalayan orogeny or Himalayan formation. So this is the meaning of antecedent river. So it is really a ancient river in the geological time scale if we need to understand at the in this basic way. The second is the transboundary means it's uh, flowing across the different nations. So we all know that how River Danube in the Europe that flow across the about 10 countries, one of the highest transboundary in nature, that Danube River. Similarly, we all know that Indus River. Similarly, like this Brahmaputra. Others are in our Asia, the Mekong River. These are the example of some transboundary rivers, and others like this particular river. So it's constitute about 5.9% area of India's geography. So it's huge chunk of area or land or that covered under the basin of this Brahmaputra river. That's other things are which is are very important, that riparian states. We all know that China, India, and Bangladesh are directly at the mainstream of the river Brahmaputra. But if we talk about the entire watershed or that catchment area of this river, which we at some call as a basin area, so this the Brahmaputra's basin, which not only comprises of three countries area, but along with that Bhutan, as well as Nepal's areas are also covered or come under the basin of Brahmaputra. So it's very important. They may frame a questions that the riparian state of this particular river is only India, China, and Bangladesh. But answer will be the more than that. That is Nepal and the Bhutan. So this is very important fact. Other than that, the origin, many times in exams they also ask the origin of, particularly if rivers originated from the any glacier. So this Chemayangdung, that glacier in the Tibetan Mansarovar lake area, as well as another one, uh, Angasi glacier, which is also a source of river Brahmaputra or Yalong Sangpo in the area of Tibet. Besides that, there are various important facts that related to this Brahmaputra river, but these are the important ones. And other than that, we also need to know that river from where it enter into the India is known as the Jeling village, Jeling in the Upper Siang district of Arunachal Pradesh, and that this river Brahmaputra that flows about 916 kilometers in the part of India, and it's up to the district of Dhubri in the Assam. So the entire the traversing the path of river begins from the Upper Siang district in the Arunachal Pradesh to Dhubri district of the Assam. It's about 916 kilometers. So this is the basic facts of this particular river. Now, beside that, the area of this where it enters into the plain, like Ganges enters into the plain after the Haridwar. Similarly, from the this particular place called the Sadia. So Sadia to Dubri is a completely navigable traverse or that tract of the river. So here where government of India declared this Dubri to Sadia as a national waterway too. So this is again important fact. Okay, all right. So these are the some important. There may be various important aspects of this, but again, uh, that is for that you need to understand first of all that how rivers and this Brahmaputra goes along. Okay, next. Other important fact for the exam point of view is the reverse tributary. So reverse tributaries are uh, many times UPSC asks this particular related questions based on this tributary of Brahmaputra. So here we have a very lucid look and clear look about the Brahmaputra's tributary. So left bank and right bank. Here I'd like to highlight here that left bank tributaries means this part are the right bank and these are the left bank tributaries. You see, this is the main stream of river Brahmaputra. Okay, that. Okay, so Lhasa and Jiangbu, as you said that these are the rivers they join in the Tibetan part of China, and later on these Dibang, Lohit, and Dhansri, these are joined in the later part of Indian part of Brahmaputra. So Dibang the first one to join the river, thereafter Lohit, and both contribute to the river Brahmaputra. Thereafter, Dhansari, one of the major river, and so on. But these part and the Lohit is important here because of one of the longest road bridge we call as a Lohit, or that is Bhupen Hazarika bridge, about 9.1 kilometer. 9.1 kilometer, one of the longest in India. Right now, it is the longest, but after the completion of under construction river, that bridge is taking place across the river Ganges near the that is going to connect the Patna to Hajipur. So that bridge, if uh, that will be completed, then that will be the longest bridge in India. But right now, Bhupen Hazarika is one of the longest bridge across the river. Okay, that is the fact. That fact is important. Across the river, the Bhupen Hazarika bridge is the longest in India right now, with the 9.1 kilometers of length, and that is built across the river Lohit. So that is important. And the right bank tributaries of the Brahmaputra here, the coming that raises at the Arunachal Pradesh, thereafter Raidak, and the Subansiri, one of the important river for Brahmaputra. It's contribute about 8% of discharge to the river Brahmaputra. So is one of the large. So it is now become a largest tributary of the Brahmaputra. So Subansiri, then Manas, Sankos, and Tista. So Tista here again important. Tista, one of the major river that rises from the Sikkim part of India, and thereafter it earlier it used to it had joined the Ganges river, but after 1798, the major flood, the devastating flood that changed the course of river Tista and that joined the river Brahmaputra. So this is the fact that Tista earlier was a tributary of Ganges, but later on it joined the Brahmaputra. So this is the tale of how the rivers of these areas are so much dynamic in nature, and which is need for the geologists and geographers to understand well the nature of these rivers, as well as ecological aspects are also involved. So these are the tributaries of river Brahmaputra. Okay. Now next, the hydrology of river Brahmaputra. So the river Brahmaputra is a part of the greater Indus, Ganges, Brahmaputra, and Meghna system. So this Ganges, Brahmaputra, Meghna system is comprises of uh, through this help of map, we can understand very well that the river Ganga like this, and Brahmaputra, and both contribute. Thereafter, it's known as the Meghna. So in a whole, it's named as Ganges Brahmaputra Meghna system. So entire the major part, the majority of India's, and this part, I mean, this Ganges Brahmaputra Meghna system is one of the largest discharge capacity in the world. So after the only after the Amazon River Basin, the only after the Amazon River Basin, the second largest or greatest system of river drainage is the what? Brahmaputra Ganges Meghna system. So here we can see the area of drainage of the river Brahmaputra. And it is also interesting that in the part of Tibetan China, it is called as the Yalang Sangpo or Yalang Zangpo, and thereafter Siang in the part of Arunachal, thereafter Siang Adyang, thereafter after entering to the plain of Assam Valley, it came to known as the Brahmaputra. Brahmaputra means the son of Lord Brahma, or the Brahma, the we know as the Lord creator of the universe. So it's having a divine place, or it having a special reverence for especially the in the Hindu religion. Thereafter, when it enters into the Bangladesh part, then it's joined by the river Tista, where it known as the Jamuna, and after it uh, also joined next to the Ganges river distributary, which is named as Padma, and again the Padma joined by the Meghna, and later on it's finally called as the Meghna river system. So that's why the Ganges Brahmaputra Meghna river system. So these are the some hydrological information, but in this is important that in entire this system, the Brahmaputra contributes about 50% of total discharge. Means जो entire water है उसका इस system में 50% contribution alone that is supplied by the river Brahmaputra. So this is very important. Other thing which is equally important is rivers combined suspended sediment load, that is 1.85 billion. This is not important for here, means world's highest, means sediments, the suspended particles, those are outcome of river led erosion, and the area they cut across the entire banks of that is because of the erosional capacity of rivers, these entire Ganges, Brahmaputra, both uh, it combined, they erode that much of load or sediment load that is highest in the world. So this is the reason why this area, the delta formation took place, because of the heavy sediments load supply in this part of the West Bengal of India as well as part of Bangladesh. They because of this, hence they created this combined river, they created the largest delta of the world. So delta is simply the debauching of sediments at the region of mouth of river. So this delta, which is called as Sundarban Delta, named after the tree pond in this area, Sundri tree, which is one of the saline tolerant species of tree that creates the mangrove region of Sundarban Delta. And this area is one of the largest delta of the world, and that hosts some of the finest and most diverse fauna and flora in the world. So Sundarban Delta, because of this Ganja Brahmaputra Meghna system. So this is important again. And why it is important, why a delta formed? Because of the loads divulged by these rivers, those are carried across the all along the its path and its stream, and eroded because of the its water's capacity to erode the whatever it encounters, whether that is rocks or the part of parcel of lands. So this is important. Now, but at the same time, our study or our discussion for this particular topic is not just about the reverse geography, but why it is going to create a implication for the countries or riparian states or riparian nations, uh, including India. So this is one thing, but shifting climate pattern is one of the issue for this river. So we need to understand that if any that the proposed the Medong hydropower station project in this part of uh, China, which is up to the Great Bend, in this area, this bending area, which naturally create an obstacle for the natural flow of the river. So this is going to be issue, but how it uh, at a sum or through a combined effect, it will entirely affect the region's geography, ecology, and other things. No, first of all, the shifting climate patterns, because that this river is fed by the snows, which uh, being contributed by the various glaciers, and the others are the monsoonal rain, which also one of the major source of water in this part of river, particularly in the southern China and India and Bangladesh. And the same time, the discharge capacity of the river, that it can retreats during the slow snow where receding snow or lean snow season, but at the same time it can also higher the downstream discharge if the monsoons rain are very much in degree. So but overall influence over the river is something which is cause of concern for the riparian state, that the basin hydrology that can be affected. uh, and to understand that thing, which is very important to know that, like this region, particularly the Assam Valley region in India, which hosts about 5 national parks, including Kaziranga, Manas, Pavitra National Park, which is always in the news, and about 20 wildlife sanctuaries and biosphere reserve like Dibru-Sekawa. These are these all are present, or these all are hosted in the region of Brahmaputra basin. So like this particular area of, this is an example of, 1 minute just, the example of, let's say, the Manas wildlife sanctuary or Manas National Park, where the river is going to affect the ecology, many times during the monsoon season we have seen that due to flooding of the river, it caused a huge harm to the fauna and flora of the area. Especially, this area is known for the single horn rhinos, elephants, as well as tigers, and various important animals. But because of the reverse changing course, which can create a direct impact over the fauna of the area. How? Because of the, we need to understand that avulsion is a term given in the geography. This means a constant shifting of the river. Interestingly, the river Brahmaputra in the part of India, it's travels around 916 kilometer, and interestingly, another thing is that at some area uh, its width bank to bank is about 20 kilometer, at the some area it is about 1 kilometer. So this is because of the geography or lithology of the area, and this rivers having a different or varied uh, the bank width, and in the some part like up to the 20 kilometer or more than 20 kilometer areas are the area of distributaries. That means rivers, the Brahmaputra does not only flow across the single channel but the number of channels. This is the thing and important about. And between the channels there are various tract of lands in which various wildlife or the flora and fauna of the unique varieties used to grow and used to flourish. So this is why the rivers having a very different kind of impact over the area's flora and fauna. But this another thing is that rivers hydrography is peaked between July to September. That is because of obvious monsoon season. But in the later seasons, its high water uh, is something not the issue because of the it only fed by the glacier or glacier water. So this is something and the important fact is about 20 to 27 to 30% of water of the Brahmaputra is only fed by the snow or glacier. So rest 70% is supplied because of the monsoonal rain. So this is important. And now another area of concern, that geology into the play. This is very much important because of the character of the area of this particular river. River, it originated from Tibetan Mansarovar Lake area, the Greater Kailash area range, and it flows up to about nearly 17 or more than 1700 kilometer towards the east area. Means rivers is flowing like this from here, Kailash Mansarovar or that lake, or Chemyangdung and Angasi glacier is here. It flows towards east, or you can see the southeast region. But because of the Himalayan orogeny, as we said that it is antecedent river, earlier used to, or it had a flow or it had a course toward the southeast. But later on, because of this Indian plate, part of Greater Gondwana plate, and this area, Eurasian plate, Angara land, part of Angara land, plate, tectonic plates, the moving plates, when they collided about during the Pliocene era, period of somewhere about 51 million years ago, and it reached the area. I mean, it gained the maturity stage about 10 million years ago, and about 0.6 million years ago, the Greater Himalaya or Everest that formed. So, because of its northeastern trend, northeastern that movement and Eurasian plates movement about this way. So it's about geologists have they uh, observed that about more than 60 per year is a velocity of this particular Indian plate, or they precisely 67 is the velocity that this Indian plate is moving against the Eurasian plate, and Eurasian plate is something not exactly opposite the Indian plate's direction, but little the uh, slight transformative or lateral like direction with about 2, it's the much lower rate, 2 per year. So at the resultant force that create a compressive force, or the resultant velocity of this Indian plate reduced to 5 per year. So annually we can say that safely 5 millimeter per year is the movement velocity of the Indian plate against the Eurasian plate. So with this velocity, or with this tectonic uh, dynamics, this area is uplifting, and that's why the geology of this particular area, which also impacted the reverse course, especially the Sialang Jangpo and later on Brahmaputra river. So and that this, if we see the entire area of, particularly if I may change the color to understand better, this area which is called as a, because of the river, western side or west southern side of river bending is a Namcha Barwa, one of the peak, Namcha Barwa, about 17,700, more than 7,700 meter, and this part is Nanga Parvat again, that is the high peak. So Nanga Parbat syntaxial bend and Namcha Barwa syntaxial bend. Between these two bends, we have a Himalayan range of about 24 kilometer, 2400 kilometers. So this Brahmaputra river tends to cut across the Namcha Barwa syntaxial bend, and that part of means it create a gorge in between the Namcha Barwa in the western flank and the this northern eastern part, in which Gyala Peri, again it's a part of Namcha Barwa Himal, or that range, again that is more than 72 meter height in elevation. So it cut across through two peaks, Galaperi in the northern part and the Namcha Barwa in the southern western part, and that creates a gorge, and in that part it turns around and it's completely changed its path to the southwestern direction. Earlier it's used to be the southeastern, but later on it completely changed the direction to the southwestern. So this is the because of the plate, it is located across the conversion plate, or what we call as the Indus, and this entire phenomena in geology is termed as Indus Sangpo suture zone. And it is one of the highest seismically active zone, and recently we have seen that yesterday only, uh, the Tuesday, this area of Sigse, or what we call this Sigse of Tibetan southern Tibet, it's just above the this between the Bhutan and Nepal. Above the Bhutan and Nepal, Sigse is the area where about 7.1 Richter scale of earthquake that occurred. and that created a really a devastating effect, and that about that led to kill about 120 plus people in this region. So this is highly seismic area because of the this Indus Sangpo suture zone. Because of it is highly seismic, seismicity is out of the that collision of two plates in Indian and Eurasian plate, and that this particular very river of Brahmaputra flows across this area, and it channels it able to develop across this seismic area. But at the same time, if this is again concern, if any nation or any agency, if they or if they wishing to create any bigger project in this area, so that may cause really a devastating issue if not well verified or not scientifically that not studied. So this is one which need to be understood. Now the Chinese government, we have seen that the external affairs spokesperson, he came to deliver the statement regarding the concerns regarding the this Mendong hydropower station project near to Arunachal. They said that this is going to be the engineering marvel for world, no doubt. It is more than even the the world's largest three gorgeous dam that built across the river Yangtze of the China, and with about 22 megawatt, more than 22,000 megawatts capacity of electricity generation. But this, if this colossal hydro project of this Medong project, if that completed, when it would be completed, then it will able to generate about 60,000 megawatts. So 60,000 megawatts, none of the any project, whether that is hydropower or any other project in the world uh, able to generate this much of the energy. So this is something uh, really a Chinese ambition to build a dam over the Brahmaputra, and they also their vested interest with the about 137 billion dollar investment, and they can meet the need of about their Chinese 30 crore peoples. And which is important that they are also, because has uh, China has declared that by the year 2060 they will intended to achieve the net zero emission. We India declared the year 2070. By 2070, we are going to achieve a net zero carbon emission. So they are also, this particular Medong project is also a part of their ambition of achieving net uh, zero, I mean zero carbon emission by the 2060 for the Chinese, their aim or goal. So they also express that it this dam Medong project represents the Chinese green and low carbon energy transition. So this is something their advocacy, and for their their march towards the carbon neutrality. But other parts are, these are their statement. They repeated they many times, given that this is not going to harm any geological fragility or its the ecology of the riparian estates, they assured by their statements. But other things which is going to be really a issue or cause of concern, because of the projects which is going to concern for, especially with the Indian point of view, that India raised the particular uh, that uh, the particular uh, concern that why it is going to be issue, because of uh, through the, I would like to quote here the Indus River, that protocol signed between India and Pakistan. So Indus River Water Treaty that signed during the 1960s, Pandit Nehru's as a Prime Minister of India regime. At his tenure, India and Pakistan signed the Indus Water Sharing Treaty, and that succeeded, that viewed as across the world that one of the successful treaty, because of their transparency in exchanging the data related to the river water, river project, related to all the rivers associated of the river Indus basin. And similarly, India is also urging to form a bilateral or multilateral treaty. So it's going to uh, be a treaty that arranges for the all the riparian states who come uh, at the across the tables, across the dais, and they exchange their information regarding the river and issues associated with the river at their part or their countries. So it will be the more prolific, it will be the more transparent if this kind of fora or forums uh, being developed or being constituted. So this is the India's raging point of concern, that if unilaterally this reverse water is being used or utilized for their own vested purpose or interest, that may harm the another riparian state's interest. So it may again create again the point of conflict between two or any more nations those are part of this river, and those are also benefiting through the river's water. So uh, and India also highlighted that how a dam building exercise can create or used as the political weapon, uh, in the sense that if during the hostile condition they can use the dam water, they can open up the spillway to flood the area of the riparian state like India, and during the much needed time of stress, summer season, particularly for the agricultural fields, if rivers water is regulated or that uh, withheld by the, if the upper stream state like China, then it can create a agricultural stress, water stress condition in India that can be used as a weapon against the hostile nation or the enemy nation. So this is one of the concern for India, that rivers can induce a drought or create a flood by regulating the river with the help of this uh, proposed Medong project. So this is one of the concern, that uh, how it can dominate or dictate the international relation between two nations. Other things are, uh, this is again the issue that any construction, I don't think so personally, that any project across the globe without harming the ecology and environment, it may be just theoretical to say that it will not harm the ecology. Any project definitely at some degree it generally cause or triggers ecological damage, but that is to be assessed, that whether the degree of damage is not much, so that it can be arrested or it can be reclaimed later on. So that is something really issue. Because of other thing, India's concern is that it's going to construct a tunnel so that China can use this water of Yalang Jiangpo to other parts of arid or dry areas of Tibet. So this is something diverging tunnel creation or building of tunnels to harness the water potential or water of the, and that is not just creation of tunnel, but tunnels will be created below or drilling through the Namcha Barwa. So that seismically active area. So if that will be developed or that will be constructed, then it can also affect the equilibrium of that area's fragility. So it's a really issue. And we have said that natures of Brahmaputra across its riparian states or lower reaches are very different. So, uh, because of its high level of bank erosion, what we call the avulsion, and channel migration, We talked about Tista example, and regarding to this, in 2004, the Bangladesh Disaster and Emergency Subgroup (BDER) has stated that several protective systems have just failed because of the river's mighty or reverse potential to even uh, destroy those arresting or protective system, because of the nature of the river, that it can even discharge capacity that is not that is beyond the capacity of the nation to arrest, to contain. And this is the nature of Brahmaputra, that this mighty river cannot be tamed, cannot be controlled. So if any dam construction is taking place at the upper reaches, then it will, even during the we have seen that how cloudburst or the heavy downpours are a new normal or new kind of phenomena taking place in across the Himalaya in the frequent manner. So if the any cloudburst like situation taking place in the upper reach of the Brahmaputra, then obviously it will drain towards the, or it will go to, in fact, the lower reaches area like lower riparian states like India or Bangladesh. If this is contained across the any dam, and high capacity, or the any dam having reservoir capacity which is of limited capacity, if that is pulled up to the brim, then it dam will be dam's spillway will be released. So if they are released, that may be unintentional, but that can certainly create a flooding like situation to the lower reaches or lower riparian state. So this is one of the issue with the river Brahmaputra, and that can create more issues if this kind of exercise building or these constructions are being uh, created or developed. Even before this particular Medong project, which is proposed, Chinese activities across areas uh, are not new. They before that they created the Jangu Dam in the 2010 at the upper reaches of this particular area of the Brahmaputra. They already built the dam. Their upcoming dam in the Dagu Jiacha, and this area we can see, and Jiabuku River. And about the Jiabuku River, one of the tributary of the Yalang Jangpo or Brahmaputra River in the part of Tibet, they blocked entire river to create a dam. So this is what the Chinese construction activities, at the degree of their unilateral decisions, can be seen that they affected the entire flow of Jiaboku River, and that become again the highlight during that time. So during that year of 2015, they also built a jam hydropower station in the Tibet, one of the highest in the Brahmaputra. So this is something the issue uh, for the Brahmaputra's drainage system, and so the riparian states. Another things about and Chinese response, that is something that they have, according to Tsinghua University 2023 study, they have proposed that this proposed dam not only going to benefit the China only, but the Bangladesh and India as well. So they argued that if their reservoir storage is increased minimum water flow during the dry season, and add on to 4 navigable months per year for the Indian portion of the river. So we have seen that India, uh, the part of Dubri to Sadia national waterways too, in which uh, that part of river will be the navigable for the additional 4 months. So India's transportation capabilities will be enhanced as per the Chinese claim. And other than that, they also said that it will also, during the flood peaks times, means the monsoonal times, the river, this dams reservoir will storage to contain about 32% in the flooding area because of Brahmaputra, 32% in the Indian part, and the 14.8% about in the Bangladesh part, according to their study. So this is something what they are claiming as per this Tsinghua University Department of Hydraulic Engineering, and they also uh, their intention to construct some mainstream cascade hydropower system with reservoir would enormous benefit for hydropower development, waterway navigation, agriculture production. This is what their statement is about the project. So they are very much positive towards this, but the things to be seen how in the future it will be unfolded. So there are both side of arguments for this particular Medong project, but overall, what will be the way forward, or the the some positive areas of convergence regarding this project is that what which is most needed here, that setting up of a forum, that is bilateral or multilateral forum on the reverse resources, distribution of water or sharing of water, and transparent data sharing in area study and proposed projects. We have seen that uh, this is not new, that Chinese opaqueness towards its project, that is in the case of, we have seen in the that Galwan Valley projects, as well as in the area of Doklam standoff in year 2017, later on Galwan in year 2020 to 21. We have seen that various Chinese projects, uh, despite of area is disputed between India and China, they haven't shared any project developments report or any kind of intentions. So this is something really the main issue here between two nations or riparian nations are the issue of the or crunch of that credibility. They have, they do not enjoy the confidence, and here we need the confidence building mechanism through exchanging the important vital data. And the other is the cooperation and engagement on projects. If that is again the way forward for this these kind of projects, that if rivers having a transboundary nature, and it if going to benefit the other riparian states, so they can cooperate, they can build, they can even invest through their own part of sharing, to that one project can benefit to all. So this is something progressive, if that kind of things is possible to the point of different national interest. And inviting multilateral organizations, like if these if there are an issue of trust building or deficit in the credibility, uh, then we can these countries can, these riparian nations can invite other multilateral organization like United Nations or others, so that they can play a observer role, or they can play a neutral role, so that they can guide their transaction or business regarding any river water resources or any natural resources or area of this place. So this is something about the Brahmaputra, and which is uh, important here, that exploitation of shared natural resources would be the most prolific in a way if it is leveraged not to dominate other but to cooperate. So um, the sense that in a way our natural resources are not to dominate other but to cooperate with the parties, those are stakeholders there. And I would like to conclude this discussion session with uh, the quotation or with the observation of the former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, who passed away for his heavenly abode on the 26th of December 2024. Uh, in the arrival of his Chinese counterpart, he once said that the there would be enough space for both India and China to grow together and to give world many things. Those are still unseen. So this is something various convergences or point, despite of the divergence between these two nations, that we can cooperate, we can share, we can grow together, and lead the world as a great uh, leading countries and the great nations and the great Asian nations. So thank you. I wish you all a prolific year ahead. Thank you.